Hello everyone, this is X and welcome to my easy gifting guide. Today we're going to be going over Spring Forage Year 1. There are 3 things I'm going to be covering. First is what you can find and where. Second is going to be who likes and loves each of these items. Next up, I'm going to be going over the best villagers to gift these items and where to find them in spring. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started with part 1 of part 1. Here are the 6 forageables I'm going to be covering today. They consist of the spring onion, wild horseradish, dandelion, leek, salmonberry, and daffodil. You can also forage items on the beach, but I'll cover those in just a little bit. Okay, now that we know what we're going to be looking for, let's go ahead and take a trip around Stardew Valley and see where we can find them. Our first stop is going to be the mountain pass. Here you can find 3 items: the leek, the horseradish, and the salmonberries. You can also find salmonberries down here in the area to the left of the bus stop. What you're going to find out about salmonberries actually is that they can be found pretty much anywhere on Stardew Valley, as long as it's between the 15th and 18th of spring. Our next stop is the mountain. Here, just like in the mountain pass, you'll be able to find wild horseradish, leeks, and salmonberries. Our third stop is going to be Pelican Town. Here, you can only find 2 items, the daffodil and salmonberries. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'd take a quick detour over by the beach. Here you can forage items such as oysters, clams, sea urchins, and several other items. However, all of these items will not be loved or liked as gifts by the villagers, so I'd recommend staying away from them. After our quick detour, we're now at our 4th stop, the bus stop. Here you can find leeks, dandelions, daffodils, and salmonberries. Here we are on our last stop at the Cindersap Forest. Here you can find 4 items: wild horseradish, dandelions, salmonberries, and spring onions. The spring onions will be found in these 4 patches, as well as they can be found a little lower by the sewer. Now I'd like to go over 4 areas I will not be covering in this guide. They are the Secret Woods, the Railroad, Calico Desert, and Ginger Island. I will be assuming that a majority of players will not be able to reach these locations by spring year 1, and therefore will not be covering them. Now that we know what we're looking for and where to find it, I'm going to go ahead and share who loves and likes each of these items from least liked to most liked. First off, we have the spring onion. It is the least liked item out of all of these, which I must say is a travesty because spring onions are delicious. However, in this game, only 3 people like them. That's going to be Harvey, Leia, and Linus. And what you're going to notice about spring forageables as well as other forageables is that these 3 names are going to be popping up a lot in the liked section. Next up, we have the wild horseradish, which just like the spring onion is only liked by 3 people, who are Harvey, Leia, and Linus. And what puts it over the top is that it's loved by 1 character, Krobus. However, I would like to mention that you will not be meeting Krobus in spring year 1. Third on our list is the dandelion, which is liked by 5 villagers. They are Harvey, Leia, Linus, Penny, and Pierre. Fourth on our list is the leek, which is liked by 4 villagers. They are Harvey, Leia, Linus, and Penny, and it is also loved by 1 villager, George. Fifth on our list is salmonberries. This item is liked by 9 villagers. However, 2 of them, Kent and Sandy, will not be able to be reached by spring year 1. For the other 7 villagers though, salmonberries has to be one of the easiest gifts to give them. That is because salmonberries can be gathered in very large quantities as long as the player has reached level 4 foraging by the 15th of spring. One thing I would like to mention about this list is that Harvey is not on it. Salmonberries is the only forageable in spring year 1 that Harvey does not like. So please do be careful and try not to gift Harvey any of these because he actually hates them. Last is the daffodil, which is the most liked forageable in spring year 1. It is liked by 14 villagers and loved by 1. As I've mentioned before, 2 of those villagers, Kent and Sandy, cannot be reached by spring year 1. However, the other 13 villagers are Caroline, Emily, Evelyn, George, Gus, Haley, Harvey, Jazz, Leia, Linus, Pam, Pierre, and Vincent. That'll do it for all the spring forageables and who liked and loved each of them. Now we'll move on to which villagers you can focus on with these forageables. The villagers we're going over today are Linus, George, Leia, and Harvey. I've chosen Linus and Leia because they like all of these forageables. I've chosen Harvey because he likes 5 of these forageables. And I've chosen George because he's the only villager you can meet in Spring Year 1 that has a loved gift out of these 6 forageables. Some honorable mentions are Demetrius, Jody, Pam, Robin, and Shane because they all like salmon berries as gifts. And like I said before, salmon berries are very easy to gather in large quantities in the spring. Now that we're done with our overview of which villagers you should focus on, let's go see where we can find Linus, George, Leia, and Harvey. We'll go ahead and get started with Linus, who lives on the mountain in this yellow tent. Most days you'll find him either inside the tent, just outside the tent, or down by the mountain lake. Next on our list of villagers is George. He lives here on One River Road. You'll find him in his house from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. most days, unless of course it's Sunday, in which case you might find him over at Pierre's store. Third on our list is Leia. She lives in the forest just south of Marnie's farm in this cottage. Her schedule is a bit more complicated than the last 2, but I'll go ahead and go over 3 places you might be able to find her. First off, on Fridays, Saturdays, and rainy days, you'll be able to find her at the Star Drop Saloon from 4 to 12. You'll also be able to find her on Mondays at Pierre's store from 11 to 5. Every other day, you'll be able to find her in the forest from 12 to 7:30, either down by the river or over by the lake pond. Lastly, I'll go over Harvey, who lives in the apartment above the hospital. The best times to come and meet him are between 9 and 3 o'clock. However, his schedule does change quite a bit over the week. The most consistent part of it is that you'll find him between 9 and 12 at work from Sunday to Friday. After 12 o'clock, you'll either find him inside the hospital still working, at Pierre's shopping, or just over here to the left of the town square in the park. On Saturdays, however, you'll find him down at the museum from 9 to 3. That'll do it for our easy gifting guide for spring forageables in Spring Year 1. I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day, y'all.